Hey Adventurers, today is going to be a review for Activated by Nova McBee. This is book 3 in the Calculated series, and it is a sci-fi story kind of, but it's also like a modern or contemporary sci-fi in some ways, so it's kind of an interesting genre, and I have really enjoyed the series. Books 1 and 2, and I'll get into more of this as I go through what I have written, but book 1 and 2, I liked some things about book 1, I liked more things about book 2, but neither of them was like, okay, this is my favorite book ever, but there was things in them that made me very interested to continue the series. And then that all comes to a head in book 3, and here are my thoughts on book 3. So this is the only book I've ever started reading on release day. So it came out, I don't know the exact day that it came out anymore, but as soon as, or the day that it came out, I just happened to have finished my other audiobook the day before. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just get the audiobook for this one and read it. And so it didn't take me very long to listen to this other book. 2-3 days is all. They're not terribly long, but I was excited for this third book. It is important to note that I don't really follow releases that much. And I haven't been actively reading and reviewing books for that long. So even though I was on top of this book, that's not very common for me to do because, for one, I haven't been doing it for long enough, and two, I don't really keep track of releases as often and as well as I probably should. But I do think that the fact that I bought this on day one is a bit of a testament to how excited I was for this book. When I read Calculated last year, about May I think, June, July maybe, something like that, summer of last year, I didn't come out of it loving it, but I did find a lot of different aspects to be very intriguing. Enough so that I read Simulated not too long afterwards. Simulated was much the same. Overall, I enjoyed Simulated more, but it was the ideas that were being played with that I was most intrigued by. So there's the world that was being built up, the whole idea of normal human beings who have not superpowers, but kind of superpowers. What it is just they're able to do things, they're very, very smart, essentially, in one specific area, and I really appreciate that. Activated took all the things from books 1 and 2 that I loved and added more to them, as well as improving upon some of the things that I didn't love in the earlier books. So some of the, book 1, Calculated, is very much like a, how is it described? It's like a Count of Monte Cristo-esque type story, so a bit of a revenge plot, and I like that aspect of it to some degree, but there was some other things that didn't quite work for me, mostly having to do with the writing. I didn't think it was bad, but it just wasn't quite perfectly for me, and the audiobook narrator was fine, and in fact did a really good job, but it wasn't quite the type of audiobook, or it wasn't the performance wasn't what I like to listen to. The narrator, I don't care for the narrator, essentially. Simulated was very different. It was like a different genre almost of storytelling, and I liked a lot of things about it, but there was more things about Simulated that I liked than in Calculated, but some of the ideas, it was different, so different that what I was hoping for, or what I liked about book 1 was different things than I liked about book 2, and then book 3 kind of tied all those things together. Once again, Calculated took another idea and ran with it. Another scientific theory or concept that hadn't been played with yet, but is very much like a science fiction concept. And so this time, however, it was frequencies. So in book 1, it was just mathematics, being able to do math very, very well and calculate things in a way that humans can't normally do. And then book 2 was fractals. They played a lot with fractals, and I really love fractals. And book 3 is frequencies. So they're each kind of building on each other, and the series builds upon itself, and you learn more and more about this stuff as it's happening and what makes the characters so special. Originally, when I saw the cover for book 3, I didn't love, or I didn't particularly like the symbol on the front of the book. However, after reading the book, my appreciation went up for it way more. There's also some other scientific concepts and ideas used, and some that I would never have expected in this type of a series, meaning like a contemporary sci-fi written by a Christian author, essentially. And the ideas played with, I would not have expected from that type of a book, but as soon as they were introduced as what they were, they worked. The introduction of them, I was like, oh, obviously that makes so much sense why that's the case. And it's just very cool to see that happen. We also get to see where the team is at in this one, what they've been doing and how they're doing it. We get introduced to some new characters as well as some some familiar faces being brought back, all of which fit seamlessly into the story being told. So it didn't feel like it was a forced inclusion of this character or that character or this storyline or whatever, because it all felt like it was a natural part of the story that was being told. One aspect that I both in many ways love and dislike is some of the added background, especially surrounding the team. And I can't really go into it, but there's one reveal that involves the team that for some reasons I really like and for some reasons I don't. I love it because I want to understand how things work. I want to understand the world building and the storytelling, how these world building and storytelling are affected by the past. But at the same time, having some secrets and unknowns is something that I really enjoy. So in some ways, I do wish we'd have not gotten so many answers. That being said though, there are clearly some more unanswered questions that need to be answered. So we get some answers to some questions, leave some others open, and kind of open some other ones as well. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this book, and I will be eagerly awaiting book 4, which has been revealed now since it's been so long. I'm so far behind on my reviews that it's been long enough now that book 4 is coming. It is titled Liberated, I believe, and it will be coming. So some of those questions I'm hoping will be answered at the end of, or by book 4. Thank you guys for watching an Erudite adventure. We post videos every Monday and Thursday. We have our social medias linked in the description down below. Please like and comment and subscribe if you haven't already. We will see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching. Stay warm.